When the Lord closes a door, somewhere he opens a window. Hi, I'm Linda Watson-Call. I'm so glad you're joining me for today's episode of Dragonfly Soup. Not being able to complete something that you had every intention of doing is probably one of the hardest things we have to face. We set our goals, we make our plans, we are confidently on our way, and then bam, something happens, and we realize this is not going to be the ending that we thought it was going to be. It could be a relationship. You've been with someone for a while, and that while could be 6 months or 6 years or even longer. And then something happens, an argument, or maybe you realize that a trait in that other person, one that you've overlooked for so long, is really bothering you, and you know this relationship won't work. Or that person that you've been with up and leaves for what seems to you as no apparent reason. Or perhaps that person dies. No matter how it happens, this relationship has hit its end, and now you have to deal with it. Or maybe it's the business you started. In your mind, this business would be yours forever. Oh, you knew it wasn't going to be $1 million business, but this was your passion. You could easily work at it night and day and never feel tired because you're living your dream. And then one day, the bottom falls out. The number of clients or customers fall off dramatically. Or your staff leaves and you can't find anyone to replace them. Suddenly, you're feeling very alone and wonder if there's a black cloud over your head. You're no longer the confident self you used to be, and you're unsure of your decisions. You don't know what you should do next. Now, when I was in college, I was very focused on getting good grades. My goal was to graduate with highest honors. Then I had this class. It was a required class. It was a psychology class. The teacher was, shall we say, a little off. He would lecture on a particular principle, like having a dog spin around before it gets its treat. In my opinion, and that of most of the class, the objective of the lesson was that you could get a person or an animal to do something for a reward, like the dog spinning. But on the test, his question was, how many times did the dog spin in order to get the treat? What? The number was relevant? I don't think so. Needless to say, neither I nor any of the other students in that class got a good grade on that test. And by the time we were ready to take the final, we felt that we were all failures. There goes graduating with highest honors. Change, whether it's changing our mind about something or the routine that we've become accustomed to, is very difficult. In the movie, The Sound of Music, Maria says one of Mother Superior's favorite sayings was, "When the Lord closes a door, somewhere he opens a window." The problem is we forget to look for that window. We spend all our energy beating on that closed door until we are so exhausted we no longer care what happens. And very often, all we have to do is turn around and see the beauty that's outside that window. Relationships change, people change. It's unavoidable. I've been through both a divorce and the death of the spouse. Neither was easy. But in both cases, I knew that if I were to continue grieving what I had lost, I would lose hope of having any enjoyable future. I had to come to realize that I couldn't change what had happened, but I could still have a positive effect on what would happen in my life. So I continued with the mastermind group that I was with and charted a new beginning for myself. In the second example, a few years after I started freelancing as an instructional designer, the industry went through massive changes. Most firms in my area no longer used freelancers. They wanted everyone to work in-house. I enjoyed freelancing and working from my home. The occasional meeting at the office was doable, but the distance for me was too much to travel on a daily basis. So there I was, no clients, no work. Then I was told about an online site called LinkedIn, so I joined it. And it didn't take long before I was working with companies in California, Ohio, and Georgia. I was back to designing courses, and the best part was the meetings were online, no commutes. And I was working with people all over the world, doing the work I enjoyed. As for that college grade, I did pass the course. Barely. I graduated with honors, not highest honors. But then I realized that in the real world, GPA and graduation honors don't mean as much as being able to complete assigned projects by meeting the client's specifications and delivering that project on time. So in a way, I was preparing myself for a position by pushing myself to excel. Open doors will eventually close. What we need to remember is to look around and find that window that will take us on our next steps in our journey. How about you? What doors have closed for you, and where did life take you once you found your window? Please share, either in the comments or a private message, how things turned out for you. Be sure to click like for this week's episode, and while you're at it, share it with your friends. You might also want to check out our new gift shop, where you can purchase items like this Dragonfly Soup t-shirt or other gifts. The link is below. And I'll see you next week, right here on Dragonfly Soup. Here's to our transformation and our best year ever.